for the starting lineups, and we are getting set for Loyola and St. Peter's, and teams that were both in the semifinals of the tournament in 1998. Loyola went on to the championship game and lost to Fairfield. We check out the starting lineups for this morning's matchup. We check out the number 2 seed St. Peter's Peahens, Nicole Dames and Patty Marchese, and Lawanda Green, for all intents and purposes, a 3-guard offense. Mercy Agueto, first-team All-MAAC in the middle, and Felicia Harris, who made the All-Rookie team, the freshman, is also in the starting 5 for Mike Grinelli, who was the head coach of the St. Peter's Peahens. The Loyola Greyhounds, the number 3 seed, will have Corey Hewitt and Teresa Cooney in the backcourt. We talked about Marianne Kirsch, first-team All-MAAC, a 4-year starter, and the senior center. Gina Mosley, one of the more athletic players in this league. You'll enjoy watching her this morning. And Jennifer Bongard, the junior who stepped in when Erica Rath was lost for the season with an injury. And Cindy Anderson is now the head coach of the Loyola Greyhounds. And Megan, it's going to be strange, I think, for anybody who joins us tonight and watches Canisius and Siena. We're going to see 2 different women's games here today. This game on paper has all the makings of in the 50s, maybe lower 60s, and a defensive half-court struggle, whereas the nightcap, the other semifinal, will be more wide open. Well,
and maybe because we're not that awake yet. You know, it's good to start slow, and then as the day progresses, we're going to get a little faster.
Mike Grinelli, 510 wins in his 27th season. Excuse me, I shorted him a win. I forgot yesterday. 511.
Don't do that.
6 postseason titles, 10 regular season titles, and he won Coach of the Year again this year for the 5th time. Cindy Anderson in the huddle, a great player at St. Joe's, went on to be an assistant coach at Vanderbilt, and then came over to Loyola and took over when Pat Coyle took the job with the WNBA's New York Liberty. And it's been a pretty good transition. The players really weren't rocked, and a lot of them were close to Patty Coyle, but obviously Cindy had been on staff, and they weren't really rocked by that news.
The seniors, you know, were a little bit more rocked than anybody, obviously, Howard, because they had been with Patty, and they wanted to win her a MAAC championship, but they have enough respect for Cindy, and Cindy coached them over in Ireland when they went to Europe last summer. So she's, as you see her right there, very experienced. Look at that record. Not a bad record for your first season, huh? Patty did a great job preparing her, gave her a lot of responsibility, and Cindy was a great player herself at St. Joe's.
Look at the officials. Phyllis Devaney, Angie Sansevero, and Gary Myers, and renewing acquaintances with you from your playing days, and seemingly telling us that you used to argue some calls.
No, I never did, ever. I never found anyone either.
All right, St. Peter's going right to left, the higher seed, so they have the home white jerseys, Loyola in the road green. And Megan, I think we're going to see some different defensive looks today from the Greyhounds.
Yeah, but, you know, to start out, you always want to start out in a man-to-man to get yourselves into the game, and that's what they're in right now.
Felicia Harris sees the opening. Down the lane she goes and can't hit the jumper. Rebounding was said to be a key. Harris had it for a moment and drew the foul on Gina Mosley. But that's early on one of the big things today. Who's going to win the battle on the boards?
Absolutely. And to give up an offensive rebound is bad enough. But then you foul to compound the error.
Patty Marchese, and Megan talked about her battles with knee injuries and what a story she has been for the St. Peter's Peahens in her career as the Peahens keep the basketball. Chronic knee problems to the point where most people probably wouldn't be able to practice and play, but she's able to tough through it and stay on the court for St. Peter's.
A great example of learning how to play with pain.
Mercy Agueto inside, a little bit too hard. Agueto can't hit that bucket, and Cooney has it. That's Corey Hewitt, fine point guard for Loyola, coming off a 7-point, 4-assist, no turnover game in the win over Iona on yesterday.
Now look at Loyola. They run great offense, set screens, especially for that woman, because you want to get her a lot of shots.
Nice touch by Jennifer Bongard. Between she and Marianne Kirsch, that's a great combination.
And Bongard's a lefty, so she's tough to guard, and she's great on the move. She can score inside and outside. Also has battled injuries, and another player who plays with a lot of pain with that compartment syndrome in both of her legs.
And she has really stepped up her game offensively since Erica Rath was injured. That's Nicole Dames, leaves the reverse layup underneath the basket.
You can't give up the baseline, Howard. You got to force her middle where you have help, and great job by Dames. She's so quick with the basketball.
Hewitt and Mosley. On the wing, Cooney, more of a defensive presence than an offensive presence for Loyola. Inside to Kirsch, it's a great matchup. Kirsch on Agueto, and Kirsch can't get it to fall.
And that's usually a gimme. You know, the little mini jump hook is impossible to defend. Got to get it to go down.
Quickly the other way, Harris too hard. Bongard for the Greyhounds.
See, that's the tempo I was talking about with St. Peter's. If they can get a rebound, get it out on the break, try to get a long outlet, they can maybe get a bucket in transition.
Mosley opening on the baseline. Gina Mosley is in the record books.
That's a great spot for her, that little short corner there on the baseline. To the point where Mike Grinelli wanted to call a 20-second timeout to maybe talk some things over.
This kind of resembles yesterday's game against Niagara. St. Peter's started slowly in that game as well, and Mike Grinelli probably can't be happy with the fact that Gina Mosley was left wide open on the baseline.
Well, Hewitt did a great job of getting her the ball exactly where she wanted it. That's what a terrific point guard will do, and Mosley just catch. I mean, that's just beautiful. Catch, turn, square up, and follow through. Don't even think about it. Some players have a tendency to think, but Mosley knew that she was going to shoot the ball as soon as she caught it. She moves well without the ball.
She's got a nice looking shot too. She is really one of the, in terms of one of the more exciting players to watch. She doesn't always finish. That's sometimes her problems, and she's had injuries too. She's dealt with shoulder injuries, but the senior from Marion Station, Pennsylvania, second team All MAAC this season for Loyola. So we'll see if the 20-second timeout helped the Peahens, who are down early, 4-0. That's Marchese all the way to the basket. Agato with the offensive rebound, can't hit the putback.
That's a problem. If the guards get beat, the big guy's got to step up and help, and then they can't box.
Mosley gets called for traveling. Dames getting in her way a little bit, and Mosley turned the ball over.
Smart play by Dames, and you can't blame Mosley for that one. That's Hewitt's fault. She's got to see who's ahead and who's coming up to create that turnover.
And Dames is the key on defense and really on offense. Nicole Dames keys a lot for St. Peter's, but mostly on the defensive end. Marchese on the wing. Dames almost took steps with that one.
Do you think they're giving her that shot?
And Dames makes him pay. I mean, she's not known for the offense. They probably will give her that shot. She only averages 3 points and shoots 39% from the field. But hey, it's open. You got to bury it.
And that's a great game plan by Cindy Anderson. Make the other team's players, who are not their best players and best scorers, make them beat you.
They double Mosley. Bongard in the corner in front of the St. Peter's bench. Kirsch, first team All MAAC this season. Bongard inside the foul line, can't hit it. Harris grabs the board.
Bongard and Kirsch do a great job of setting screens for each other. That'll be fun to watch that throughout the day, because Bongard gets any shot she wants because Kirsch sets great big screens.
She's a good passer. As much as we talk about Marianne Kirsch from the scoring standpoint, she's an excellent passer, especially when she sets up the high post and usually finds Jennifer Bongard. The shot inside, no good. Agato trying to get the rebound. Kirsch grabs it for Loyola.
St. Peter's getting good shots. They're not falling right now. But if they keep getting those shots, maybe the more they wake up, they will drop.
Cooney with a nice look inside for Kirsch, who's doubled and fouled. Great pass by Teresa Cooney across the lane to Marianne Kirsch.
Well, Cooney's just one of those smart players who understands her role. She understands what her job is to play defense and get the ball to open teammates. Nice catch by Kirsch in traffic, Kirsch is a tremendous player in traffic. She gets to the free throw line a lot because she's strong, has good hands, and good body control.
Backing in on Harris. Nice move. Turnaround, draws the foul.
That's what I'm talking about. She used patience to say, okay, nobody else is open. But it's not like her first instinct was just to go to the basket. And then she said, you know what, I'm one-on-one. I can take anybody in this league one-on-one.
And she can.
And that's why she gets to the free throw line.
67% foul shooter. As a team, Loyola's done a great job of improving their free throw shooting. Last season, they were dead last in the MAAC at around 57%, 58%. They're up around 69% this season.
And that's just all mental. As we see Dames take a seat. I mean, think about it. It's a free shot. Like, you're by yourself. But that's just a lack of concentration there. It came up short because she didn't use her legs. That's
Sue Porter in the game right now, number 3 for St. Peter's. A freshman, very good shooter from Doylestown, Ohio, one of their top 3-point shooters. So they have to be honest with her and not give her any room to set up. This is Harris on the drive. Porter will try the 3, and it's off the rim, no good. Kirsch grabs the board.
Gutsy play by Porter, just coming in the game and jacks up a 3.
She's not shy about shooting. Got to see if you got it early on, I guess. Bongard fouled from behind by Felicia Harris.
And that's not a real smart foul by Harris because Bongard's at the top of the key. You know, she's not going to hurt you from up there.
We have a break in the action early on. 15:29 left first half. Loyola 5, St. Peter's 2. The MAAC women's semifinals from Buffalo. This week's Did You Know feature is brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Did you know Jackie Sankovic played for former Loyola head coach Pat Coyle's identical twin sister Mary in high school? unbelievable the amount of research they do to get us ready for this game.
They are just working around the clock.
The Peahen is working early on, and St. Peter's 1 of 9 shooting. You're talking about everybody waking up. Their offensive game is not up yet. 1 of 9 from the field for the Peahens.
But the thing is, Howard, they're getting good shots. So you always like to get more shots than your opponents. The Greyhounds only have 4 shots, but they've made 2.
Inside, Mosley puts it in for Loyola. Great position for Gina Mosley. Well, great position for anybody, Megan. You can hit it most of the times you get inside there.
Well, tremendous recognition because Mosley's got a distinct height advantage on her defender. So, hey, post her up every time until St. Peter's proves that they can stop it. And then you see that time, they scored and then went into a little 1-2-1-1, back to a 2-3.
Thank goodness you're here so you can recognize all these defenses. We'll see how they handle it. That's LaWanda Green, the transfer from Ohio State, 23 for the Peahens. And she'll try the 3 off the rim, no good. And it goes out of bounds off of St. Peter's. Nice try by Porter. She was trying to slap it off of Shannon Cohen into the Loyola bench. Cohen checking in off the timeout. Number 4 in green, the sophomore from Timonium, Maryland at 5'6". And now she's running the offense. And Corey Hewitt moves over to 2 guard. But on the other hand, you do have 2 very good ball handlers out there in Cohen and Hewitt. Kirsch looks inside for Mosley, but it's knocked out of bounds.
Terrific back cut there by Mosley. See, that's what you have the advantage in Loyola. If Kirsch is a really good passer, that she is, so then she commands so much attention. If everyone else keeps moving, she'll find them.
Hewitt on the baseline. Bongard to the basket, leaves it short. Aghetto, the MAAC's leading rebounder, grabs another board.
And Bongard's lefty, you got to make that shot. That's her left hand.
Peahens struggling on offense. Just 2 points in the first 6 minutes. Cold from the field. Aghetto to Harris. Although, again, we are watching in green the 5th best defensive team in the country. Harris on the drive, can't get the bucket, but draws the foul. Loyola, actually for most of the season, was #1 in scoring defense in the entire nation, and they only give up 56 points a game.
And it's not because they're quicker than anybody, but typically they're smarter. And Kirsch, while she looks like she did hit the ball there, the ref will always call this foul. If you bring your hand down across that plane, you got to keep your hand straight up in the air, body up, and you'll be fine. Good refs typically will not call that a foul.
Nice crossover dribble by Harris to get the play started. She misses the free throw. The freshman from Red Bank, New Jersey, made the MAAC's all-rookie team, won Rookie League twice this season, averaging 8 points and 6 rebounds. And in due time will probably be, according to Mike Grinelli, one of the best players in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, but right there misses a pair of free throws. By the way, St. Peter's is last in the MAAC in foul shooting. Keep that in mind if this is a close game down the stretch. Harris diving for the ball with Bongard, and they will call a foul on Bongard, apparently. Yep, Jennifer Bongard gets called for the foul as she rolled over on Felicia Harris trying to grab the basketball.
Well, so that's a tough angle to make that pass, nearly impossible. And, you know, the refs let that go for a while. Phyllis Stephanie was in position to make that call, and I thought she did a good job by not calling it. But then Angie Sensvera underneath finally made the call because there really was a lot of contact down there.
Look at that for St. Peter's, 1 of 10. Fortunately, from their standpoint, they're only down 5 at 7-2 as we approach the 13-minute mark left in the first half.
Well, Howard, that's what Loyola does. They know who are the scorers and the great shooters, and they do a pretty good job of keeping them out of their game. But there, again, let them get to the basket.
Right, again, a good shot. Right, I mean, it was a nice move by Green to cross over and kick around to the left, and she had the step to the basket, but they're missing layups. Nice quick move to get by Cohen, and Cohen's behind her. Now she got a little help from Bongard to distract her, but still, you got to make that play.
And if you're Bongard coming over, you got to take a charge.
Porter hits the 3 from the corner. There's her shot after the first miss, and a field goal on the board for St. Peter's. Just their second of the game, and they're back within 2.
So that's a good sign for St. Peter's. They're shooting as bad as they are, and they're only down 2.
Again, St. Peter's did not have the best of games yesterday against Niagara. In fact, that was about a 4-point game in the last minute of regulation play, and St. Peter's able to hold on and beat the 7-seed Purple Eagles to advance. Bongard just inside the foul line. That's Porter grabbing the board.
St. Peter's doing a terrific job on the defensive boards.
Leah Cromer trying to get inside on Marianne Kirsch. Spin move off the glass, can't hit it. Cromer had a big game yesterday in the win over Niagara, had 13 points off the bench, but can't get her first shot to fall. Cohen looking inside, cross court to Mosley. Her baseline jumper good. So Gina Mosley early on has the hot hand. She has 6 points.
Mosley has such a height advantage on Marchese. You've got to get her the ball a lot. And Loyola's a smart team, and Cindy's doing a great job as a coach. They've got to recognize that and exploit that as much as they can, as long as Marchese is guarding her.
Who's second on the team in scoring this season was Gina Mosley at 11 points a game. On the steal, that's Corey Hewitt.
Terrific help there by Hewitt coming down. Just being a pest like good point guards are supposed to be.
And now they turn the ball over. Porter back the other way. Nice bounce pass. Green all the way to the basket and can't finish. Again, another layup that St. Peter's couldn't finish, and Mike Grinelli turns and walks the other way on the sideline. Hands in his pockets, disgusted at his players not able to finish the short shots inside.
Especially Green, because she's one of the most skilled players perhaps to ever play at St. Peter's, and yet it's the mental things that kill you. You just got to make the easy shot.
And she's a transfer from Ohio State and had such high expectations coming in. But even Mike Grinelli admits that sometimes she gets a little too nervous, puts so much pressure on herself that she can't finish the great moves that she makes, and we've seen that early on.
And what a tremendous box at that time by Kirsch to force Cromer over the back.
11:02 left first half. Loyola 9, St. Peter's 5. Women's semifinal action on the MAAC television network.
This is my business card. I'm a reporter and co-host for Adelphia. How did I get there? Well, before this, I worked on air at a local TV station. Good evening, this is Jody Johnston with a news update. I got that job thanks to an internship I did at Canisius. I guess it proves when you graduate from Canisius, a lot of good things are in the cards.
Marine Midland Bank is proud to sponsor the Marine Midland Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's game were provided by Marine Midland Bank for all your financial needs.
And defensively, St. Peter's getting it done, Howard. Terrific defense there by Porter stepping in. But as has been the case all morning long, just can't finish plays. And to be down 4, they got to feel pretty good, because the old cliche, defense wins games. As long as you're playing good defense, you keep getting shots like that, they eventually will fall.
2 of 15 is now the shooting total for St. Peter's. Cohen in the lane gets the shot to drop.
It's a terrific move to cut off of the post player with the basketball. Tough to guard. Cohen did a nice job of getting into the lane, and it was a nice pass by Mosley.
And while Mosley's got the hot hand, Megan, we're also seeing one of the traits of Loyola, balanced scoring. Already 4 players are in the book. They don't really, we talked about Kirsch as the go-to player, but they will spread the offense around.
They're unselfish. They make the right decision. They know who scores, who doesn't. But in all honesty, they're all scorers.
Sharika Wilson just in the game, number 23 for Loyola, draws the foul, and Leah Cromer will go to the free throw line for St. Peter's. And Cromer again had a big game when Agato struggled yesterday against Niagara. Cromer, the sophomore from Queens and August Martin High School, stepped in with 13 points and 9 rebounds as she hits the free throw. Been a kind of an up and down season. Sometimes Mike Grinelli not sure what he'll get from Leah when she comes into the game, but yesterday certainly one of her best of the season.
Well, in a game earlier against Marist, he didn't bring her on the trip. You know, he's a disciplinarian, and she had done some things that he just wasn't crazy about, and in order to keep that tough hand like he's got, he's a good coach. He knows how to win. He's been successful, but you got rules you got to adhere to, and so he didn't bring her on the trip.
No, you can't argue with his record, that's for sure. He knows what he's doing. He's in the St. Peter's College Hall of Fame, and he's just got a contract extension in July of 1998, so he will complete his coaching career at St. Peter's, where he started. Jumper is an air ball from Mosley from the corner. Good defense that time by St. Peter's. Looked like Marchese had a hand in her face, might have thrown her off a little bit. Here's Marchese on offense. Trying to work through some screens, nothing there. Mosley picks her up on defense.
Howard, Loyola's done a terrific job of keeping Marchese out of the flow offensively.
She gets a quick opening, but can't hit the three. And Marchese is their leading scorer, and they did do a good job defensively. Loyola up 4 with the ball. Greyhounds coming into this tournament as the hottest team in the league with wins in their last 5 regular season games, and then, of course, the win over Iona to make it 6 straight. Shannon Cohen in the corner. One-on-one with Porter. 8 on the shot clock. Nice kick to Desiree Peterkin, and she can't hit it off the back of the rim. No good. Mosley goes for the rebound, and will get called for fouling Mercy Agueto.
Agueto did a really good job of keeping herself between Mosley and the basket. It was kind of a box out, but she did more of a fine job of controlling her body, and Mosley got a little overzealous.
That's her second foul, so she will sit down.
That's where they're so good. Penetrate and kick. Shot just didn't drop. But Agueto had good position.
Checking in for Loyola, number 21, Laura Slater. 5'10" freshman from Vienna, Virginia. They look inside to Cromer. Worked yesterday, but not today. She can't hit that one. Rebound attempt is no good, but a foul drawn. So offensive boards that time will get St. Peter's an opportunity at the free throw line, and Mercy Agueto will step there. Again, they're trying to get it inside, but they're missing when they get it inside. And again, Cromer a little bit too hard off the rim, but Agueto does what she does best, grab rebounds.
And if you're going to let someone like Cromer get shots that low at the block, defensively, you got to force her out. And then, like you said, Agueto is so good at getting offensive rebounds. You have got to, if she's got inside position, you've got to push her under the basket, or you've got to box her out so she's got no chance. But it's not a bad idea to send her to the line.
Just a 60% free throw shooter. And the foul shooting going the way of the field goal shooting so far for St. Peter's. Agueto, 6'2" junior from Queens, played at Bishop Loughlin High School in Brooklyn. That one a little bit better, but dances out. Cromer with the big rebound and putback.
See, Cromer's got an advantage over every post player for Loyola because she's just bigger and stronger.
Well, she may have an advantage over most post players in the league. Mike Cornelli thinks that really that there's probably no one in this league with the strength and the wingspan and everything to match up with Leah Cromer inside when she gets the ball. Nice defense by Agueto, and she'll try and take it all the way on Cohen, who strips it away for Loyola.
Phenomenal play by Cohen.
Pulls up for the foul line, jumper no good. That's Slater with the rebound, can't hit the putback. Agueto clears it out for the P-Hens.
An up-tempo game right now for Loyola would behoove them, because I don't think Cromer, who's going to get called for a foul right there, a little too physical. But if you're Loyola, you want Cromer to have to run up and down. See if she can stay with you.
Yep, try and tire her out, and Cromer getting called for trying to clear out Sharika Wilson. Desiree Peterkin goes out. Corey Hewitt checks back in for the Greyhounds. 21 wins this season, a school record for Loyola, and they've trying to make it to the MAAC championship game for a second straight year. Of course, losing last year to Fairfield. Stags, by the way, eliminated last night in the 4-5 game by Canisius, who we'll see tonight against top seed Siena. Turnover on offense for Loyola. Marchese trying to push it the other way. 3 on 4, waits for a little bit of help. Green, shot fake. Harris is open. She'll try the 3 and can't hit it. They've had some open 3 looks, and they've only, I believe, hit 1 from Sue Porter in the corner.
Good job that time on the board by Loyola. You saw all green shirts had a body on a white shirt and was forcing them out.
Bongard looking for a backdoor, nothing there. Cohen, Hewitt. 8 on the shot clock. Now look at a fresh 30 as Agueto kicks the ball.
See, Hewitt has to recognize that Agueto can't guard her one-on-one, dribbling the ball.
7:21 left in the first half. 11-9 in this defensive battle in the women's semifinals on the MAAC television network. Let's take a look at a summary of this season's Chase MAAC Players of the Week. Starts with Melanie Hawker, who won it 3 times. She is the MAAC Player of the Year for a second straight year. We are seeing Mercy Agueto in action. Amy Getman and Gail Strumpf eliminated yesterday. 5 other players honored once. The Chase MAAC Player of the Week brought to you by Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything.
You know, Sharika Wilson got that, as we see Mercy Agueto, who they need to get her involved offensively.
She, again, yesterday, Megan, boy, I think she had only 3 points and got into foul trouble against Niagara. She was very disappointed at how she played. As you see, Loyola goes over and back. She only averages about 9 points a game. She averages more rebounds than points, but obviously she can be, Aghetto can be a key factor inside, especially on offensive rebounds and putbacks off of misses.
Especially against this Loyola team that is not terribly tall and strong in their backcourt, while they have Bongard and Kirsch are certainly terrific post players.
Loyola with 7 turnovers, St. Peter's with just 3. Points are at a minimum in this first half of action. They go inside to Cromer, doubled and blocked and fouled. Wilson thought she got it cleanly, but Sharika Wilson will draw her second foul.
Well, as I started to say earlier, she's the only Loyola player to get Player of the Week on her. She leads them in blocks, and sometimes if you're known as a shot blocker, you have a tendency to get into foul trouble because you just love that feeling of swatting shots away.
Just a sophomore from West Hempstead, Sharika Wilson. Leah Cromer goes back to the free throw line, where she is 2 of 2 in this game. Played in 20 games this season off the bench for Mike Grinelli. Missed some time with an injury. She leaves the first one short. And struggled a little bit getting back from the injury, getting back into to game shape. But again, as we mentioned, coming off an impressive effort against Niagara. 1 out of 2 for Leah that time. She now has 5 points.
And she scores in bunches, where she's had games where she scored 18 points in 19 minutes and 13 points in 15 minutes. Those are players that you want there. She's an intimidating presence down low, and she's tough to stop inside.
She's had some good MAAC tournament games. Yesterday and last year, she had a strong game in the semifinal loss to Fairfield. 12 points, 14 rebounds. Slater driving off the glass and follows her own miss.
See, Loyola's not a team that wants to take a lot of shots on the move. They're more stand-up, set screens, get each other open.
Slater looking inside, and Wilson trying to battle for space inside with Christy Carbone. That's Bongard out high. 12 on the shot clock. Bongard, a little extra step on the way to the basket. Turn the ball back over to St. Peter's.
But still a nice idea, I think, there, Howard. Not only does she have an advantage that she's lefty, and a lot of players are used to, well, on defense, forcing the offense to the left. That helps her. But with Cromer guarding her, she's got to take the ball in the basket, and she attempted it that time, and that's a good sign.
Patty Marchese making second team all MAAC and turning the ball over right there. A rare mistake by Marchese. He was also 9th all-time in scoring at St. Peter's with more than 1,200 points coming into the MAAC tournament. As we approach 6 minutes left in the first half, 11-10 Loyola. Maybe the 50s will be a stretch for this game.
I think you're right.
Pass inside off of Wilson's hands and out of bounds. So is it great defense, struggling offenses? How do you characterize a game like this?
You know, our glass is always half full, so we choose to just say outstanding defense is being played here this morning.
That's what you say at halftime to the players, right? You don't want to discourage them offensively.
But you gotta, like, light a spark under them or something and say, come on, guys, you gotta.
I think both teams are waiting for that big play that just wakes everybody up and gets it going. I mean, you can see they're mishandling passes, they're throwing passes away, and neither team is shot early on. Baseline's up, but Carbone misses everything, and Slater has it for the Greyhounds.
In all honesty, Howard, it is, you know, you're not used to playing a game at 9:45 in the morning. But you can't use that as an excuse. You know, a lot of times players practice early, so you just gotta play.
Wilson can't hit it inside, tips it to Slater, who follows off the glass. Nice job by Sharika Wilson off the miss to just keep that ball alive since she couldn't grab it. Tipped it to a teammate, and it turns into 2 points.
And that hasn't happened a lot with Loyola here in the first half. They haven't got a lot of second opportunities. So Peter's got a nice job on the glass.
Off the turnover. Slater going in all over. Marchese coming back defensively. Slater lays it up and in.
That's going to be the difference in this game.
A quick 20-second timeout by Mike Grinelli, but maybe that's the spark we were talking about. Finally, a little excitement. Loyola's got a few fans sitting behind the bench there, and maybe that's the wake-up call they needed. As you look at the face on Mike Grinelli, not very happy about this last play.
Well, it's just sloppy plays, and that's been pretty much the way St. Peter's has played most of the game. Slater just active, and typically when you double team, you don't try to steal the ball in that double team. You try to steal the pass out of it, but if you can get a hand on it and knock it away, more power to you.
We talked about St. Peter's struggling yesterday. They were not really playing their best basketball coming into the tournament. They lost 2 of their last 3 regular season games to Siena, which is not a big deal. They were the top seed and they swept St. Peter's, but then they got beat by Canisius, which I think surprised a lot of people, and maybe there's some kind of carryover, and because early on they're struggling, just 10 points in 15 minutes. Of course, Loyola's only got 15 points in 15 minutes.
Well, it's all about mental toughness, especially at the end of the season. You're tired, and you're playing a team like Canisius who is not as talented as you, but you just have to come out and play. That's why you play the game. If you win by talent, you wouldn't play, but that's why anyone can win on any given day.
Nice move by Green to get through the traffic, but then leaves the ball short, and the Greyhounds will bring it back. And I think the mental toughness is something both of these teams historically have been known for. When you think of Loyola, you always think of a team that's fundamentally sound. That pays off in MAAC tournament time. That's one reason why they've been to the finals 4 of the last 6 years. Marchese will get called for the foul. That's her first.
And that's a really good thing for Cindy Anderson and her club, to make Marchese play defense. Great offensive players typically don't want to play defense because it's tiring. It's hard. Good defense is hard to play. So if you can make Marchese play defense for long stretches, maybe you can take something out of her offensive game.
That was the 16th foul, so still non-shooting. Nice defense inside. Felicia Harris cuts off that pass in the lane.
Well, Howard, Loyola is trying to make impossible passes. St. Peter's is playing good defense, but Loyola is making them look great.
Marchese off the dribble, leaves it long on the baseline. Porter with a nice weak side rebound. Kim McDonough in the game, drives, can't hit the bucket, draws the foul though. So again, trying to create. Kim McDonough, the freshman from Harrison, New Jersey. They didn't finish. They're creating, but they're not finishing.
And I love it. Sharika Wilson is looking at the official like, oh my God, are you kidding? I didn't make that foul. Meanwhile, she clobbered her. But and the problem was she bodied up, and there was a little bit of contact, and yeah, officials should let that go. But when she did the karate chop and almost broke McDonough's arm, that is not usually the best play to make, as she takes a seat on the bench now.
3 fouls on Sharika Wilson, so Marianne Kirsch comes in. So when you played, did you do the karate chop on opposing players?
I wasn't into the karate chop because I was trying to be tricky and know that, if I can get away with more body contact,
that's why the officials never caught you with the fouls. You did it when they were unlooking. You were being tricky.
I was short, and I played inside at 5'11", playing in the lane.
McDonough hits 1 out of 2, and in the backcourt, the double team results in a foul. Harris and McDonough trying to take it away from Kirsch, and that should put St. Peter's at 7, right? And it'll be a 1-1 for Loyola.
Well, as if this game needs to be slowed down anymore.
I'm telling you, for folks who are watching this game, please come back and watch Canisius and Siena this afternoon, and it'll be night and day. Canisius and Fairfield last night, I mean, Siena is very good offensively as well, but Canisius and Fairfield last night set the MAAC tournament record for most points combined by a team, 179. It was a great it was a great basketball game, period.
A lot of scoring, 3-pointers, back and forth. It was late, though. I was tired. It was midnight, Howard. It's too late for me.
You love basketball. 6 games in one day. Kirsch misses the 1-1. We have a break with 3:55 left in the first half. Loyola maintaining a 15-12 lead. It's the women's semifinals on the MAAC Television Network. All right, Doug, that'll wake everybody up in the morning. And that's great. You got to love it, Megan, to see the fans who traveled from other parts of the country to make it here to Buffalo for the MAAC tournament and see women and men's action today. I'm sure they're sticking around for the Canisius or the St. Peter's Canisius men's game later on.
Well, they might be asleep by then. How much did they sleep through the night?
Hopefully they slept on the bus. Marianne Kirsch inside for the Greyhounds, off the back of the rim, no good. That's her shot, and she can't hit it. Ghetto grabs the ball for the Peahens.
And I saw Cindy Anderson over on the bench after that shot clapping because you know what? Even though that shot didn't go in, it's a good shot. They got the shot they wanted.
Loyola back in the zone now. That's Sue Porter on the wing. Patty Marchese, the senior. Over to Kim McDonough. Nice skip pass. Porter with the big arc and hits the 3.
The skip pass and the 3-pointer is what's going to be open against the zone. Loyola went to a zone that time. They want to change up their defense and make St. Peter's have to recognize it every time down floor. But if St. Peter's can throw those skip passes and hit the outside 3s, that's going to have to spread that zone out.
As badly as the Peahens have played, they are tied in this game at 15 with 3 minutes to go first half. Porter, their top 3-point shooter at 42% this season. Cohen inside, a little too hard off the glass, but knocked to the floor and draws the foul.
Well, what a play by Cohen. A tremendous catch. And as soon as she her feet touched the floor, she was right back up. Reached up, boom, boom. That was a quick release. And she got hit pretty hard.
Foul on number 30 for St. Peter's. That's Siobhan Henley, the sophomore from Owings Mills, Maryland. That sends Shannon Cohen to the free throw line, and she can't hit the first one.
And that's a shame. She's a 76% free throw shooter. You would think she would knock these down. And as you said, free throw shooting is going to become a factor in this game. It already shooting the 1-and-1.
Yeah, well, Loyola, we talked about how they improved their free throw shooting this season, but they're 1 of 5 at the foul line in the first half. One of them was a 1-and-1 missed by Marianne Kirsch.
When it comes to the tournament, every opportunity you get, you've got to capitalize.
McDonough can't get the shot off in the corner. Porter loses the basketball. Kirsch has it. Finds Cohen. She'll move it up court.
And Cohen is known more as a defensive player. She's one of the best defenders in the league. Has real quick hands.
She's on pace to break the school record for steals. She's a sophomore and is putting up some great numbers defensively. And Loyola's headed back to the foul line off that drive from Bongard.
And Anderson's club, as composed as they are offensively and disciplined, that's what they've got to do. They've got to read the defense, and Bongard has got to. Now, how in the world can you let her go left?
Now Siobhan Henley quickly picks up her second foul, and Bongard cashes in the first free throw.
If there's anything you're going to do, Siobhan Henley has got to force Bongard to her right hand. But isolate Bongard as much as you can. If she's got a bigger player against her, take him to the basket.
Hagan talked about Jennifer Bongard earlier. Started as a freshman, redshirted her second year with compartment syndrome in her legs. Underwent surgery in 1997 and has dealt with a good amount of pain in her playing career. But like Patty Marchese, has played through it and been a big part of this team and stepped in when Rath was injured.
Yeah, she's got to get her legs massaged, her shins massaged all the time to keep them loose.
St. Peter's again down 2, and on the drive by Kim McDonough, she draws the foul. Both teams are over the limit, so Peahens will get a chance at the foul line.
And Peterkin there, just a little too much body. She was moving her feet. You got to play defense with your feet. And Grinelli's trying to talk to his troops into what they've got to do.
The record 5th time for Mike Grinelli, winning Coach of the Year, taking St. Peter's to a number 2 seed, 22-5 in the regular season, 15-3 in the MAAC. Kim McDonough gets another free throw. She's got 2 points at the line this morning.
And Grinelli's such a great guy. I asked him before, about your success, and he said, I've been very lucky. I've had great assistants, and we get good kids that other people kind of overlook, and he didn't want to take any of the credit.
Shannon Cohen with a nice move, pretty pass, and the lane opens up for Cohen to convert it.
Again, another terrific play, cutting off of a post player with the basketball. Very difficult to defend.
Porter almost lost possession, gets it back, gives it to Marchese. Loyola leading by 3 with under a minute and a half to go in the first half. The winner of this game plays Sunday night at 7:30 for the MAAC Women's Championship and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. On the baseline, McDonough dish to Carbone, who gets called for steps.
Unfortunate for St. Peter's. They ran solid offense that time. Got the ball inside. Nice dribble penetration to the back line there. Defense committed. Little shuffle in the steps there by Carbone.
They always had the lead as high as 5. They have a possession to go 5 here, but they turn it over. Jennifer Bongard, working for position in the lane, gets called for the foul. That is her second. And we'll go back the other way, and St. Peter's will be at the free throw line again. We have St. Peter's and Loyola. Again, is Doug Sherman. As you look at Cindy Anderson, the head coach of the Greyhounds. Doug touched on it. We've got a lot of basketball coming up today, some 15 hours. We have men's quarterfinals at noon and 2. Then the other women's semifinal at 5 with Canisius and Siena. And then the men's nightcap with Siena against Ryder and Iona against Marist. Ghetto misses the first free throw.
So people at home don't even have to leave their couches all
just
day.
Order a pizza, have it delivered, and sit tight.
Can we order one?
Sure. There's some great pizza down here. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
All right.
We'll have the crew take care of it, actually. That's what producers and directors are for, right? To buy the pizza for everybody. Desiree Peterkin with under a minute to go. Almost lost the handle in front of the Peahens bench. Now they'll set it up. Shannon Cohen. Looking inside for Bongard. It's not there. Slater takes a 2 instead of a 3. Can't hit it. McDonough, nice job boxing out Bongard to grab the board.
St. Peter's doing a tremendous job defensively of keeping Loyola out of the lane.
They cannot hold for one. Still about 26 seconds left, as you see on the game clock in the first half. Marchese inside. They're doubling a ghetto. Vanguard trying to collapse and help. McDonough lost control, and now Loyola can hold for one. Cohen in the front court. Down the lane to the basket. Too hard. The rebound bat of the round, and that's Vanguard wisely bringing it out. Slater with 10. As the bench counts out the time left, Cohen on the drive. Can't hit it, but draws the foul with 4.4 seconds left. And you know what? You talked about Shannon Cohen. She's not known for offense. She is known as a defensive pest. She's done a nice job of creating when she's been running the offense. Penetrating, slashing, trying to find some other players. A nice move here to draw the foul.
Well, there she did the right thing. Shot clock was winding down. She hit the top of her head, which means set a screen on the ball. And she read the defense. Vanguard set the screen on the right side, so the defense was cheating. So she faked right. Nice crossover, came back left, and drove to the basket. When the time is running down, what you want to do is go into traffic and dare them to foul you, and indeed they did.
Porter picked up her foul, and Shannon Cohen, who missed two the last trip, hits two free throws here. 21-17, 4.4 left. Three-quarter court. They'll pick him up. Porter to McDonough, and they'll try the half-court heave, and it's a little wide right. So a defensive game is what we anticipated, and a defensive game is what we have. Loyola 21, St. Peter's 17 points at a minimum. We check in with the head coach of the Loyola Greyhounds, and our sideline reporter, Doug Sherman, is with Cindy Anderson. Doug?
Okay, thank you, Howard. And Cindy, that first half of basketball, despite being up by 4, not the prettiest. You've got some work to do at halftime.
Absolutely. We turned the ball over I don't know how many times, but fortunately for us, they have too. And can't say it's a stellar offensive performance on anybody's part, but we knew it was going to be a half-court game, and it's going to come down to the wire.
Okay, good luck in the second half. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, that's Cindy Anderson, the head coach for Loyola. They lead by 4. We'll send it back to Howard.
21-17 indeed. Greyhounds on top. Halftime of this women's semifinal. Back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network.
The 1999 inaugural MAAC Ice Hockey League Championship hits the ice in Worcester, Massachusetts at Holy Cross's Hart Center. The semifinals are slated for Friday, March 19th, and the championship will be Saturday, March 20th. Catch all the action of college hockey's newest sensation as the first ever MAAC champion is crowned. An all-session pass is affordably priced at $10. Call 508-793-2573 for information and tickets. Catch the fire on ice of MAAC hockey.
Students prepare for graduate school or business. Marist received the Cause Award as one of the top 4 colleges in the use of technology in and out of the classroom, along with Cornell, Stanford, and Duquesne universities. Marist's 150-acre riverfront campus is in the heart of the historic Hudson River Valley, 75 miles from New York City. To find out more about Marist, call 1-800-436-50.
1999 inaugural MAAC Ice Hockey League Championship hits the ice in Worcester, Massachusetts at Holy Cross's Hart Center. The semifinals are slated for Friday, March 19th, and the championship will be Saturday, March 20th. Catch all the action of college hockey's newest sensation as the first ever MAAC champion is crowned. An all-session pass is affordably priced at $10. Call 508-793-2573 for information and tickets. Catch the fire on ice of MAAC hockey.
Getting set for second half action. Third seed Loyola in the green. Second seed St. Peter's in the white. And the Greyhounds lead at 21-17. Peahens never led in the first half. They tied it at 15. Loyola's largest lead was 5. And the Greyhounds again moving right to left as we watch them in the road greens here in the second half. That's Teresa Cooney as she looks inside for Jennifer Bongard. Spins and hits the basket.
The first 5 minutes, you always stress in the second half, are so important to determine the rest of the game, and it's so key to get the first bucket of the second half.
Same starters for both teams from the first half. That's LaWanda Green for St. Peter's in the corner to Nicole Dames. Back to Green. Down inside, it's Felicia Harris, Mercia Ghetto, and outside, it's Patty Marchese. And the inside move by Green, and she loses it out of bounds.
Now, Mosley's had shoulder problems, and her shoulder is dislocated right now. You see it there, it's hanging.
Yep, and she is headed straight to the locker room. That has bothered her for some 3 years now and is She has been healthy. Ironically, she's been healthy this season. She played in every game. She re-injured it on December 8th in the first half in a game against Towson State. Missed the second half, but didn't miss any games. And this is a season where she finally was healthy, and now the shoulder bothering her here in the semifinals.
Well, I got to tell you, I dislocated each of my shoulders every year in college, and it's not a pretty sight. It's one of the most painful things, and I hope she's okay. And she's obviously done for the rest of the weekend. That's unfortunate.
So she goes out for Loyola. And Jackie Slater checked in, had the basketball, trying to get it to Bongard, and reaching in and fouling. Either Marchese or Harris, both were there trying to strip the ball away. Fans, don't forget the inaugural MAAC Hockey League Championship hits the ice March 19th and 20th at the Holy Cross Heart Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. All session passes are affordably priced at $10. For more information, 508-793-2573.
And the key now, Howard, is can Loyola in the senior-laden group overcome the loss both physically and emotionally of Gina Mosley? That's the key.
LaWanda Green trying to create with the crossover dribble, and she draws the foul. So Green trying to wake everybody up. Teresa Cooney got the foul for Loyola, her first. Among the stats that stand out from the first half, as we look at Cindy Anderson on the Loyola bench, the St. Peter's starting five shot 1 of 15. And came up with 3 points. The starting five had 3 points in the entire first half from Mike Grinelli. The bench had 14 as Green hits the free throw, her first point of the game. And I would have loved to have been in the locker room to hear what Mike Grinelli was saying at halftime.
Wow, I tell you what, I bet it was a bit colorful.
Green hits 2 of 2. She was shut out in the first half, and now gets 2 points here and makes it 23-19 in favor of the Greyhounds. And you talked about Marianne Kirsch. I think that's a great point. She had 2 shots in the first half. Now, as she didn't hit either one, you've got to get her the ball more often. Even if she doesn't hit it, she has to get the ball.
She's your go-to player. She's led you all season. You've got to find a way. And they're fronting her in the low post, which means Bongard there, as she turned it over, has to get the ball at the high post and then dump it down. You can't get it in from the wing if she's being fronted.
Turn the ball back over. The Peahens trying to, I was going to say trying to pick things up defensively, but after that first half, I don't know if I could say that. Mercy Aghetto inside gets the basket, her first field goal of the game. And St. Peter's showing its best offense so far. A nice move inside by Aghetto, who is first team All-MAC this season. Peahens drop back on defense, down 2. Slater to Cooney on the wing, in front of the Greyhounds bench. Aghetto really battling with Kirsch. You see Kirsch out high now. Bongard, the 3 off the rim, no good. And St. Peter's will let it go out of bounds. Loyola can't save it. Cooney made an effort at it, but it goes out. Sue Porter checks back in for St. Peter's. During halftime, GMAC, the GM College Grad Program, and your local Pontiac dealers are proud to sponsor the GMAC Shootout. Grads, now's the time to reward yourself. See your participating GM dealer for details or visit their website at gmgrad.com. LaWanda Green on the wing, as you see Loyola now in a zone defense. Sue Porter had 2 threes in the first half. One of their 2 best outside shooters on this Peahens team. Green's going to try the 3, can't hit it.
Loyola, yeah. They're going to throw some junk defenses out. Anderson said they were going to do that, and it's important now to do it to really keep St. Peter's on their toes and keep them guessing.
Corey Hewitt, 3-year starter at point guard, the senior out of Rockville, Maryland. Porter kicked it, so it'll reset the shot clock. Shannon Cohen checks back in for Loyola, gives Teresa Cooney a break. Nicole Dames back in for Sue Porter for St. Peter's.
Howard, St. Peter's doing a tremendous job defensively. They're not letting any outside jumpers go free, yet they're up and back, so they're making it difficult to make an entry pass into the post.
And that's the bread and butter. This is a post-driven offense for Loyola, and you touched on it a moment ago, and Bongard gets called for charging on Marchese. They're so effective when Bongard is at the high post and Kirsch is at the low post. They have a great chemistry together. We have not seen that in this game.
Well, that's because St. Peter's defensively has done a tremendous job. Now, she's left-handed. They forced her to go right. She pushed off a little bit with that left hand. Good job, too, by Marchese to do a little bit of acting.
And that's a big loss for Loyola. They're now down. Bongard on the bench with 3. Mosley went out with a shoulder injury, so 2 starters are out right now in a 2-point game. A critical stretch early second half for Loyola right here. We'll see what St. Peter's can do about it. Marchese shut out in the first half, averages 12 a game. On the wing, Green, the transfer from Ohio State, dribbles it out of bounds. No, yeah, they did. Dribble it out of bounds. I thought maybe it might have gone off a Loyola player, but the ball will turn over to the Greyhounds. Loyola went 20-6 in the regular season, 13-5 in MAAC play to earn the 3rd seed behind St. Peter's and Siena. And we will see Siena, who advanced last night. Later on today at 5 o'clock in the other semifinal, they'll take on Canisius, which won its first ever game in the MAAC tournament last night, beating Fairfield. Shannon Cohen in the lane. The runner's a little bit wide right. Ghetto grabs it for the Peahens. Quickly up court they go. Harris, the freshman from Red Bank, New Jersey, cut off on the baseline. Back to Dames. Dames again, not an offensive threat. Can hit the shot as we saw in the first half early on, but no more for passing and for defense. Green whips it cross court. Marchese for 3, can't hit it. Big battle for the rebound, and it comes down to Cohen. Wilson and Agato tied up down underneath for that one.
Well, that's the kind of shot Marchese's got to get the ball. Nice skip pass thrown by Green. You've got to find Marchese. And there, Wilson's got to take it to the hole. You're one-on-one down low. You've got to take it to the basket.
Did a nice job of going in and drawing the foul on Mercy Agato, her first. So we'll see Sharika Wilson at the free throw line. Sophomore from West Hempstead, New York. A very good player on Long Island in her high school career. She missed her freshman season due to a preseason knee injury. You see she's got the brace on her left leg as you've been watching her in this game. At the foul line for a couple of shots.
And that you see there, that's her knee brace. And Erica Raff, blew out her knee earlier this season, and Wilson's minutes really went up as a result. She stepped up to the challenge.
Yep, she picked up her offensive game, buries a couple of free throws. 25-21 Loyola, a little over 4 minutes into the second half. Women's semifinal action on the MAAC television networks. We talked about Gina Mosley and her shoulder injury. Let's see how it happened. You see her towards the right side of the screen as she goes for the ball.
And that's a tough position to be in, Howard, because when you put your arm out there, you just put yourself in such a position for your shoulder to either sublux or completely dislocate.
The good news is she's back on the Loyola bench. She was not in that huddle last time. She's on the bench. She has an ice pack on her left shoulder, and hopefully she's okay. And we'll follow that for you as we welcome you back to game action. Little three-quarter court press put on by Loyola, as they showed that a little bit in the first half. Megan, as you mentioned, they've shown some different things at St. Peter's. One of the keys from Mike Rinelli's standpoint, recognize what they're doing defensively. Now they're in a 2-3 zone.
Right, they're trying to keep St. Peter's guessing and not knowing what's going on.
Got a foul off the ball. Pretty play by LaWanda Green to penetrate on that. You see Gina Mosley with the ice pack on the left shoulder at the Loyola bench, the senior, looking on and hoping her teammates can take them to the championship game tomorrow night. Good penetration by Green to create a little space to get the ball to Agato, but the foul off the ball. St. Peter's maintains possession.
Well, Green's so talented, just not getting it done for St. Peter's.
Marchese, first team All-MAAC. Flips it around the Green, back to Marchese. Pulls up, foul line jumper. Her first field goal of the day, her first points of the day for Patty Marchese.
A perfect time for Marchese to get into the flow offensively. Now, hopefully for her and her teammates, she'll get on a little bit of a roll, and then they can feed off of it.
Kirsch on the wing, out to Hewitt. That's Shannon Cohen with the basketball. Wilson.
St. Peter's in the zone here, too. A little matchup.
Wilson goes inside on Agato and leaves it short and grabs the offensive rebound. Now it's knocked out of bounds, and it will stay Loyola basketball. So Wilson has shown some good inside moves in this second half against a pretty good defender in Mercy Agato.
Well, she's got to get the ball, and she's only a sophomore. She's got to know that she can score against anybody in that low post. You've got to have an attitude down there.
Slater working against Marchese, gets some room, can't hit it, follows up and in.
Slater's done a terrific job today. Howard coming in off the bench, providing a spark, doing the little things, getting some offensive rebounds, getting some good shots.
She's got 6 points off the bench. Shannon Cohen has 6 off the bench, as they have gotten those contributions. Green in front of the St. Peter's bench. Marchese, right side to Dames. 6 points in the win over Niagara yesterday from Nicole Dames. Green's three is off the rim, no good. Again there for the rebound. And they'll draw a foul. It looked like the defense was just holding position, but the foul called on Loyola. Hey, to find out more about MAAC basketball, go online and check out the conference website at www.maac.org. It is updated regularly and provides current information about your favorite MAAC teams and players. Patty Marchese thought maybe the offensive foul. That's what Cindy Anderson thought coming off the bench, but Shannon Cohen will draw the block on that last play.
2 tough plays for Loyola because I thought Slater did a terrific job the other possession. Now here, she lowered her shoulder. Now, yeah, there was some dramatics there defensively by Cohen, but I thought Marchese initiated that contact, and that could have easily been an offensive foul.
5 fouls on Loyola in the second half, just 2 on St. Peter's. Again, 7, and you're over the limit. It's 1-1. 3 from the corner, in and out for Marchese. Green with the rebound and the foul. That gets the St. Peter's bench up. Some excitement we have not seen from the Peahens in this game, a potential 3-point play.
And the problem now, Loyola is in a zone, so it's really tough to box out of a zone. And when St. Peter's is taking some long-range shots, Marchese shot in and out. But look, no one there to rebound on the weak side. Cohen coming down from the guard spot and reaching in. Whether she hit anything or not, if you reach in like that, the officials are going to call it.
Cohen gets her 3rd foul. That was LaWanda Green's first basket of the game. She finishes off the 3-point play. 5 points all in the second half. And St. Peter's is within 1, 27-26. The Peahens have never had a lead in this game. And we talked about Mosley being out and Bongard out. It's a crucial stretch for Loyola, and St. Peter's is trying to put together a run. We'll see how the Greyhounds respond. And again, the go-to players, 32 in green, Kirsch, but St. Peter's has done a very good job defensively against her in this game. There's Kirsch looking backside to Peterkin, but it's knocked out of bounds.
A tremendous play and a good look by Kirsch, but you know what you have to do in that situation, the forgotten pass, the bounce pass. The hands are up in the air, you fake it up and you go down, that's a wide open layup.
Hewitt inside to Kirsch. Hands it back to Hewitt with the drive, and she can't hit it. Ghetto clears it out for St. Peter's.
Kirsch has got to remember to go to the boards, too. She's getting caught standing around now. Frustration will do that to you.
And even if the offensive game isn't there, you can do it on defense. You can get rebounds and do some other things to help the team, even if you're not getting the points. James dishes to Marchese. Shot fake, pulls up, foul line jumper. Boy, we have not seen St. Peter's in a rhythm in this game in the first half at all, like they are right now. Now they're beginning to feel it a little bit, I think.
And Loyola better watch out, because if Marchese keeps it going and Green gets going, this game could get out of hand real quick. And a good 20-second timeout by Cindy Anderson, because they need to talk some things over here and readjust their game plan to stop these two players now.
Yeah, LaWanda Green and Patty Marchese both shut out in the first half, have now combined for 9 second-half points.
And Marchese likes to do that pump fake, take one strong dribble, and elevate. She's got nice form, she's got strong legs, so she can shoot at the top of her jump, which not a lot of women do, just because typically women just haven't done that, whether it's been leg strength or full body strength. More of set shooters.
So Loyola playing from behind now for the first time of this game. Granted, it's only 1 point. And as you look at the Greyhounds come out on the court, really the only real offensive option is Kirsch. I mean, now Wilson and Slater and Peterkin can score. Hewitt certainly can drain a jump shot, but Kirsch is the main option out there, and they've got to find a way to get that ball to her. Now, Gina Mosley, we understand, is going to check back into the game, and there she is walking to the scores table. You can see that in the background. Glad to hear that.
She's a gutsy young lady. She may not be able to lift her arm tomorrow.
Hewitt inside Kirsch, great position, and she lays it up and in.
And there Ghetto was looking at Cromer saying, hey, listen, you didn't talk to me. One of the first easy looks that we've seen certainly this half for Kirsch.
Kind of an interesting combo. You see Ghetto and Cromer in the game at the same time. Very good physical players inside for St. Peter's. Kirsch gets her first field goal of the game. It restores a 1-point lead for the Greyhounds.
I like this combination for St. Peter's right now.
Good ball moving by St. Peter's. Ghetto weak side rebound, can't hit the layup.
That's a big break for Loyola. Ghetto worked so hard to get that rebound. She pinned Kirsch under the hoop, and yet you missed the easy basket. That's what gives coaches gray hairs. They
missed some of those in the first half as well. And yeah, as a coach, you always think that's going to come back and haunt you at some point. Nice look inside. Kirsch again.
See, you can't take both things away. Ghetto can't front in the low post and then take away the high post. If she's fronting in that low post, you got to get the ball to the high post and dump it in.
Well, effectively getting the ball to Marianne Kirsch the last 2 possessions. Now 31-28. Gaines breaks a little pressure and now sets up the half-court offense. Bounce pass, Green back to Gaines. Looking inside for Aghetto. It was not there. Marchese with 5 on the shot clock. Foul line jumper is good.
Well, we've seen today, and it's gone on her whole career, but Marchese likes to dribble to her right. So if you're going to do anything, you may not totally stop her, but make her do things she doesn't like to do. Force her to dribble left, because that's a tough shot for her.
1,000-point scorer at St. Peter's. Patty Marchese, actually over 1,200, has warmed up here in the second half. Kirsch trying to drive again. This time gets called for steps, but no secret what Loyola has tried to do on the last 3 possessions. 10:50 to go second half. Loyola leads St. Peter's 31-30. It's women's semifinal action on the MAAC television network. GMAC salutes Ralph Sifford as the GMAC Pontiac Dealer of the Game. Sifford Pontiac GMC is the place to find great deals on a variety of Pontiac vehicles that qualified customers can finance or smart lease with GMAC. Sifford Pontiac GMC, located at 250 West Fort Lee Road in Bogota, New Jersey. If you can't stop by, give them a call at 201-342-2300. Or for more information on the other great GM offers, call GMAC at 1-800-32-SMART. When you look at Loyola cheerleaders, if you were with us in the first half, Chris Duval, one of the Loyola cheerleaders, hit his head hard on the floor. He was taken to Buffalo General Hospital, placed in a cervical collar and on the spine board. We can report that was for precautionary reasons, and we are told initial indications are that Chris is fine. Gina Mosley is fine. Well, we hope. The left shoulder with ice is now, she's back on the floor, 22 in green, and we'll see if she can help this Loyola offense. Both sides picking it up offensively now, shooting better than they did in the first half, and there is a turnover, unforced error. Nicole Dames thought LaWanda Green was going to be there and threw it to the bench.
And you can see on her left shoulder, and she had it before she got hurt, she's wrapped, and that is to try to keep the arm from going up too much past 90 degrees. She's right-handed, so she's okay, and I had to wear the same thing at various times, so it just kind of limits the movement, so you can't go up too high.
Mosley there you see with the basketball, and if she ever has to get into a rebound, you wonder about the contact or whatever, what's going to happen. She cuts to the basket, but the pass intercepted by Nicole Dames.
Well, see, she's not cutting with the same sort of energy that she was before, because when you get hit anywhere, it throttles the body and the shoulder.
Aghetto, pretty turnaround move and jump shot. Mercy Aghetto has 5 and puts St. Peter's back in front by 1.
Well, Aghetto is certainly somebody who could get on a roll here late and be really tough to stop down low, because she's got a nice, quick turnaround jumper.
She's got 5 points and 11 rebounds in this game. St. Peter's, by the way, now shooting 45% in the second half after 16% in the first half. Mosley tries the baseline jumper. Can't get it to fall.
Loyola has got to get on the offensive boards there. Kirsch was at the three-point line when that shot went up, and she didn't even make an attempt.
Aghetto out high, inside for Cromer. Nice move to the basket, but she can't finish. Kirsch trying to be a little careful, too. She's playing with 3 fouls. Bongard's back in the game. She's playing with 3 fouls as well. Kirsch tried to hand off to Coleman, couldn't get it done. Now Hewitt has the basketball.
See, Kirsch isn't even a threat to score. She doesn't even square up at the top of the key. It makes it easy to guard her.
Doubled in the post and gets by Aghetto for the basket.
But I tell you, when she gets the ball down there, she does a pretty good job of finding the hoop and getting it in.
Tough to handle inside, and on pace to set a Loyola record for career field goal percentages, Marianne Kirsch. Foul into the front court on Loyola, and that should leave them over the limit. The foul on Shannon Cohen is her 4th. She's got 6 points off the bench today. It's a 7th team foul, so St. Peter's will be in the 1-and-1 situation. Marianne Kirsch, we mentioned first team All-MAAC this year, 4th all-time in rebounding at Loyola, 5th all-time in scoring. A valuable member of the senior class, and for all we talk about on the court this week, she was also honored as one of the academic All-MAAC players, and it's the 3rd straight year she's been able to do that. LaWanda Green at the free throw line, 1-and-1, can't hit it. Nice job boxing out on the rebound, and Jennifer Bongard has it for the Greyhounds. That was something that hurt Loyola in a loss in overtime to St. Peter's in Baltimore. Missed Missed efforts on 1-and-1s, missed free throws, but they didn't box out, and St. Peter's winning that game and sweeping the season series, regular season series. Kirsch draws the foul. Harris is over there to help on the double team with Cromer. And I believe they'll call the foul on the drive, not the shot. Fans, you can be part of the 2000 NCAA Division I's Men's Basketball Championship as the MAAC, Canisius College, and Niagara University host the East Region first and second round games here at Marine Midland Arena next year, March 17th and 19th. For ticket application information, call 716-819-NCAA. So the non-shooting foul. Well, a nice look for Teresa Cooney Bongard with a beautiful pass.
Again, Bongard not making that bounce pass, but a nice catch by Cooney. That's just a super play to get the ball at the high post. If you're being denied on the wings, have the post player flash, and then have the wing back cut.
Loyola restores a three-point lead. 8 minutes to go. Three in the air from Porter is long. Rebound batted around, and Cromer has it for the Peahens. Inside she goes. Harris completes the play.
Well, St. Peter's getting on the offensive glass, and that's what has made the difference. Mosley batted that one away because, again, can't get that left arm up. Couldn't rip it down.
Harris's first field goal of the game, and the St. Peter starters doing much better offensively in the second half as opposed to what they did in the first 20 minutes, as Harris got her first points of the game. Loyola getting called for that last foul. At that time, I believe it was on Kirsch, and that would be her fourth foul.
No, that's on Cromer.
Oh, Cromer. Okay, I'm sorry. Green is green and white is white, right? Okay. We'll be back with more in a moment on the MAAC Television Network. Let's take a look at the Citizens Communications long-distance shooter standings. Marie Fouchy from Marist winning it. We'll see Jill Wilson from Canisius in the second semifinal against Erin Boland, the senior from Siena. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC, is once again the proud sponsor of the MAAC Long-Distance Shooter of the Year. Long-distance shooting not a strength in this game. 35-34, Patty Marchese, the senior, hoping this is not her final game at St. Peter's. They want to make it to the title game on Sunday night, as do the Greyhounds, and Loyola has the basketball.
You know, as time winds down, this is going to sound like a silly comment, but every possession is so important, especially in a game where the offense has been so sluggish and so poor. You really have got to maximize every possession.
They did not do it there. Marianne Kirsch called for traveling as she tries to drive left of the lane. And you knew it was going to be that type of game anyway between Loyola and St. Peter's. They played games in the 60s in the regular season. They're both known for their strong defense, but I think I'm even more surprised at how tough the offense has been to come by in this game, even though it's picked up in the second half. Look at St. Peter's, 30% better, and even Loyola's up to 50% as well.
Well, I think both coaches would be mystified by what transpired here in the first half. No one would have ever thought that they could shoot that poorly.
How about Leah Cromer off the glass with a pretty turnaround shot? Cromer now with 7 points, trying to spark the team as she did, one of the sparks, in the quarterfinal win over Niagara. Hewitt, another senior out there, and boy, as you get to those final minutes, maybe the seniors, not maybe, the seniors sure feel it more than anybody else, knowing they could be playing their final game. Kirsch can't hit the shot. Cromer, good defense, and then Loyola fouls on the rebound.
Well, you can kind of feel it slipping away from Loyola a little bit here. Missing some easy shots, turning the ball over. But Anderson has faith in this club. She said these seniors are on a mission, and Bongard going to the bench.
Jennifer Bongard with her fourth foul, and checks out with 6 points.
Check this out. I mean, that you can't really defend that any better. Pretty kiss off the glass from Cromer. The only thing you can do is force her middle where you've got more help.
Porter misses the front end of a 1-and-1. 8 fouls on Loyola, only 4 on St. Peter's, by the way. Keep that in mind. So they're still 3 away from the bonus situation. Off the turnover, Green the other way. Taking it left of the lane, all the way to the basket and in.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to make a team pay for turning it over.
St. Peter's building its biggest lead of the game. Granted 3 points, but 6:10 left in regulation play. Hewitt in front of the Loyola bench as the sense of urgency heightens a little bit here. Hewitt for the 3 and leaves it short on the side. The rebound batted out of bounds. They will say it will stay Loyola basketball.
See, I see Loyola doing some things now that they haven't done all game. Taking a quick shot after not running offense. Seem to be pressing a little bit. Not that Hewitt can't drain that open shot, but you would hope they would be in the same offensive flow all game.
He is a 34% three-point shooter, but you're right, that is quicker than what we've seen out of the half-court sets for most of this game from Loyola. Foul off the ball on, looks like Leah Cromer, who was fighting with Sharika Wilson.
Well, she's a big presence down there. She's a banger. She's been hitting and bumping them all game, which, you know, God bless her. She's only been called for 4 of them.
Only 4? She checks out. Felicia Harris comes back in. So Cromer will take a seat on the bench next to Mike Grinelli. Cromer, just a sophomore, going to be a good player for 2 more years here in the MAAC. And Aghetto draws the foul off the inbounds play. And St. Peter's is working their way towards going over the limit. We check out the foul trouble, and Cromer, you see with 4. Cohen and Vanguard have 4. Harris with 3 for the Peahens, and Wilson and Kirsch have 3 for the Greyhounds.
See, the thing about being someone who bumps and maybe holds a little bit because it is a physical game, the refs can't call every single one. But they seem to be calling a lot late in the game.
Under 6 minutes to go. Hewitt, Dames defensively. Flips it to Kirsch, backing in on Aghetto. Pretty move, leaves it short, and Aghetto clears out the rebound. Nice move to get away from Mercy Aghetto, and she left the one-hander a little bit short.
Yeah, that went off the heel of her hand. Aghetto did a nice job of keeping her off the glass.
Harris on the wing to Dames.
And you know they're going to leave Dames wide open to shoot the ball.
They left her open. She took 1 shot in the first half and hit it, and she'll try one here, baseline, and hit it again.
That's just a big shot by Dames, and that's one for the underdogs of the world. You know, you always love to see a kid hit a shot who isn't known as a shooter or a scorer.
St. Peter's biggest lead, it's now 5 with 5:09 left, 40-35. Peahens up over the Loyola Greyhounds with a timeout here in the women's semifinal game. And we'll see what Cindy Anderson can do here. We'll come back and talk about what she might be able to do out of the break. Back to more MAAC basketball here in Buffalo in a moment on the MAAC Television Network. Welcome back to Marine Midland Arena. We see transition basketball. As Loyola now trailing by 5, we'll pick things up here and show you this Corey Hewitt play all the way up to...
Well, that's on Cooney. Bad pass, tough angle, and Green is in the right place at the right time and takes it for the easy 2.
8 turnovers for Loyola in the second half, 19 in the game, and that's part of the reason why they are down 5. And another one here, Dames into the front court, off the glass and in.
2 of the biggest moves of that young lady's career coming back-to-back to give them that 7-point lead.
St. Peter's shooting nearly 60% now from the field in the second half. And one thing, we've talked so much about Kirsch, we haven't seen any perimeter game from Loyola. Most of their points have come from inside. They've done nothing to loosen up the defense of St. Peter's by hitting some outside shots.
Well, you've really got to give all the credit to St. Peter's for playing, Howard. Just phenomenal defense and taking away what Loyola likes to do. And they force them to do other things, and Loyola hasn't stepped up. And there Cohen, again, being the spark off the bench, making things happen, driving to the basket, and getting fouled and getting yourself to the free throw line. But unfortunately for Loyola, they haven't made enough of them.
Shannon Cohen misses the first one. She is 2 of 5 at the line today. Last foul on Nicole Dames, her 3rd. Time ticking down, just 4:41 left as Cohen makes 1 out of 2. She's got 7 on the game. Loyola picks up the pressure a little bit here. They need to force some turnovers and get some transition points themselves here. They rally from down 6.
And that's not a whole lot, Howard, when you think that that's just 2 possessions, 2 3-pointers. You play solid defense. That can happen in a matter of seconds.
Loyola sitting back in the zone. Marchese with some space. Baseline, jumper good.
And what else did she do? Take one dribble right and explode up.
She's had a big second half. Patty Marchese, 8 points after getting nothing in the first half on 0 for 3 shooting. They are down 8 now as the run continues for the Peahens. Kirsch inside, double. Kicks it out for Hewitt, 3 from the corner, no good. And Aghetto has it for St. Peter's.
See, that's why Kirsch's life has been miserable today, because Loyola's not hitting any outside jumpers, so the defense can all sag in on top of her.
St. Peter's trying to extend their lead to double digits here. Dames in the corner.
I love her. She could take that shot, but she knows her role.
If she gets it into Aghetto, the basket will not count. There was a foul before the shot. And it is her role. I mean, it is her role to set up the offense, and she knows she can hit the shot. She's done it on on 3 occasions in this game, but set up Mercy Aghetto and drew a foul situation. Jennifer Bongard has just fouled out. That last foul was on her, so Bongard has 6 points, and she will head to the Loyola bench, the junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You have 30 seconds to make the substitution, which means you get the chance to bring her over and have a little team huddle. 6 points, 7 rebounds for Jennifer Bongard in this game.
Yeah, the coaches usually milk a situation. It's a free timeout, basically,
right,
you know?
Right. St. Peter's trying to move into the women's championship game. It is scheduled for Sunday night at 7:30. We'll have it for you on the MAAC television network, and they would play, if they hold on to this lead, either Siena, the top seed, or Canisius, the number 4 seed, which will try and spring another upset. Siena will be favored, no doubt about it, but Canisius has somewhat of a home court edge. They don't play a lot of games here in Marine Midland Arena, but they are here at home in Buffalo.
And what's exciting is they're coming off a great high. They won the first game ever in Canisius history in the MAAC tournament. So both teams are playing for history because Siena's never made it to the finals, and Canisius just won their first game ever. So a lot on the line tonight. That should be a fun game.
Mercy Aghetto back at the foul line. 60% free throw shooter. She is 1 of 2 at the line in this game. Misses the front end. Kirsch grabs the rebound.
You know, it's not time to press yet, but, you know, Loyola's really got to start getting some real solid looks, get some three-point opportunities, but get to the basket. Don't settle for threes, but if you have it, take it with a lot of confidence.
Slater with a nice move to the basket, and she can't hit the layup.
That's exactly what you want to do. Drive to the basket, hopefully get fouled.
No, that was it. I mean, that was a good move to get by Harris, and again, a layup that Cindy Anderson knows that they should have had, would have pulled them within 6, but they're still down 8. Harris open from 3, thought about it, gives it up to Dames. Nice drive to the basket, and is fouled by Sharika Wilson, who's in disbelief. But both players are in disbelief when they get called for foul.
Oh, yeah, because no player ever fouls. But Dames, give her all the credit in the world for really turning things up here in the second half. She knows she's not a shooter, but she's the quickest player on the floor. So what else to do? When you get the ball in your hands, take it to the basket. Because invariably, especially in today's game, you will be fouled.
It's a junior from Randolph High School in the Bronx. Nicole Dames was the PSAL first-team player of the year at Randolph High School. And we'll have one more free throw. That was the 4th foul on Sharika Wilson. One out of 2 for Dames, 7 on the game. It's now a 9-point lead with 2:48 left. Loyola's won 7 straight games. They were the hottest team in the league coming into the tournament in terms of win streak. The last team to beat them, though, was St. Peter's. And they're on the verge of it today, unless Loyola can rally. Kirsch inside for 2. Quickly, the Greyhounds call timeout with 2:36 remaining. It's a 20-second timeout. Kirsch now with 9 points, and again, now you pick up the pressure, and at some point, Megan, we're going to get to the fouling situation, too, with Loyola.
Well, there, Wilson got a lot of attention.
Yeah,
how could you leave Kirsch that wide open is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, Aghetto went over to help out on Sharika Wilson, leaving Kirsch open for that.
And so good job by Kirsch, and a good timeout call, because now with 2.5 minutes to go, you can set up a full court pressure here situation, but then also pretty much a system for the rest of the game.
This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast. Yeah, I can get my major right. Without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. Can you tell I was a broadcast major in college? There's the full court pressure calling off the inbounds. Marchese to Harris. You want the ball in the hands of Patty Marchese or Nicole Dames as far as ball handling. Marchese's also a deadly free throw shooter. Should it get to the point where Loyola has to start fouling, that's not the person you want to foul. Dames, St. Peter's trying to take as much time off the shot clock as possible. Harris content to hold it out. Now under 10 on the shot clock. Dames creeping in. Nice crossover. Kicks it out to Harris. 4 on the shot clock. Harris on the drive. Hits it and draws the foul. What a big play by Felicia Harris with time winding down on the shot clock. And that is a pumped up LaWanda Green encouraging Felicia Harris in the foul circle. The foul is on Sharika Wilson. She has fouled out. Look at this move.
Well, that's the way you get to the basket. I mean, that was just a terrific drive. Kirsch came up, the left foot was up, so you drive by that foot and get to the basket. Yeah, and then how about that?
What the heck was that?
The mascot getting involved. The peahen.
It's a tough peahen. And the,
sure is.
I think the peahen was just warned by one of the officials here.
He was just scolded, as well he should.
I can't believe that.
He kicked her in the head. Talk about kicking someone when they're down.
Oh, man. I can't believe he did that. I think that's like warrant for ejection, actually. The peahen kicking Shannon Cohen in the head.
How about that? The peahen kicked a girl while she was down.
Anyway, back to the game. Yeah. That's kind of, I don't think I've ever seen that before, Megan, and I'm at a loss for words.
This is a first for me.
Back to the game, and Felicia Harris will try and complete the three-point play. And the drive you just saw, remember, she's a young player. She's a freshman. She made the MAAC All-Rookie team for one of the reasons, well, that is one of the reasons she's got some great ability to get to the basket. That gave it a 9-point lead for St. Peter's. We'll see if they can stretch it as high as 10. There's not been there, and now it is.
Nice stroke on that shot. One of the few free throws we've seen today to hit nothing but net.
Down 10, under 2 minutes to go. Greyhounds get it into Kirsch. A little hook shot inside. She's in double digits with 11. Kirsch, a senior, trying to rally her team in these final 2 minutes. Green steps through the double team nicely into the front court and all the way to the basket. Hits the basket, though, right back traveling. And if you're St. Peter's, Megan, what's the rush? You pull that ball out and take some more time off. You don't need points.
Well, that's been one of Green's problems this past year. She sat out last year after transferring. She kind of loses her head sometimes, and that time, safe to say, she lost her head. I don't know how good of a call it was, but certainly something you don't want to do. You want to milk the clock.
Kirsch inside. Harris goes for the strip. Nice job to get it to Slater, who lays it up and in. It's down to 6, 48-42 with 1:22 left in counting regulation. Dames double. Flips it to Marchese. Cohen comes over to apply some pressure. Marchese breaks the timeline. Hands to Dames. Nolan needs a turnover here quickly. They got to start fouling. Dames driving to the lane, to the basket, and puts it up the glass. No good. Kirsch serving as a little bit of a distraction there, getting the hand on in Dames' face, making the switch and making a tougher layup attempt. Under a minute to go. Well, we can't take too much time off the clock. It is a two-possession game, though. Inside the Kirsch, they're down 6. Kirsch and Agato, and Kirsch turned the ball over. You could see she lost her footing and double dribble.
And I don't know if Agato stepped back at all, but sometimes it's a really good play when the offense is posting up really hard to step back. But there, Kirsch just lost her balance. And I was just going to say, you know, it's a good idea for her to really go strong to the basket and try to draw that contact to get the old-fashioned three-point play.
Well, now they are in the position with 44.2 seconds left where they have to foul. And you talked about this play. You see Agato behind and Kirsch backing in, and she kind of just, just lost her footing a little bit.
Well, the problem was her weight was on her heels, and that's why you always want to have your knees bent and have the weight on the balls of your feet, so that way you're always going to be on balance. Yeah. She was standing too upright. That's why, I mean, this game, the game of basketball is played with your knees bent, always in a stance. Even offensively. Mike
Granelli called the 20-second timeout. You see St. Peter's 2 fulls left, Loyola 1 full, 120, and you see the foul situation as well. So if Loyola does foul, it is 2 free throws, not a 1-and-1 for St. Peter's. And they are reaching in, and Gina Mosley reaches in and fouls Marchese. Again, statistically, she is the best free throw shooter on the team at 80%. Although late in the game against Niagara yesterday, she missed 2 free throws as Niagara was fouling and trying to get back in that game. She came back and buried a couple, but it was just stunning that she even missed any free throws.
Right, shooting 80% from the line, she's not going to miss many. And this is a great situation where let's see if she learned from that.
On that, seniors stepping up their play like Patty Marchese had a fantastic second half after getting shut out in the first half. Now 9 as St. Peter's has rallied, make it 10. 50-42, 2 very big free throws for the Peahens. 38 seconds and counting left in regulation play. Loyola needs a miracle here. Kirsch at the foul line. Hands off to Cohen, who is blocked and fouled by Agato.
You can't say enough about the job that Cohen has done coming off the bench, making things happen. Penetrate into the lane. She's getting kicked by mascots. Hit to the ground.
And she's only a sophomore, and this will be her team as Corey Hewitt will graduate, the senior point guard, and it's going to be time for Shannon Cohen to take over, and she seems more than capable of handling that task.
Well, she's a fearless kind of player, and those are players that you love to have. She'll go into the lane against anybody and not think twice.
Averaged 5 points this season. And Cohen now has 9 points in this game. He's done a good job off the bench. Gets it down to 6 again. A 2-possession game once again. Marchese to Harris into the front court. Now Green's all on under the basket, but Hewitt fouls Felicia Harris with 25 seconds left. And Harris will step to the free throw line. The freshman is a 71% free throw shooter, second best behind Marchese.
So you've got to give St. Peter's a lot of credit, Howard, for putting the ball in the right people's hands. If it's not in Marchese's, well, then it should be in Harris's.
You know, those two are the hot shooters. Aghetto is a 60% free throw shooter. Dames is 61% at the foul line. Green is 48%. 2 shots. So much for building them up as a good free throw.
Well, we jinxed her. That was very clear.
She'll have 1 more to go. Well, and again, overall, St. Peter's was last in the MAAC in foul shooting, but they've done a good job at the free throw line in this game.
And you think they were behind for most of the game, but they just stayed with it. They never gave up. They stuck with their game plan. And then again, their best player stepped up, Marchese, in this second half and did what she had to do for her team, and that's what great players do.
Long-range three from Hewitt, and she buries it. Her first points of the game. It's a 4-point game, though. That's why 1 out of 2 is so important for Felicia Harris. It made it a 3-possession game. It's now 51-47 with 16.2 seconds left, and timeout is called by St. Peter's. So Corey Hewitt, who had not gotten any points, hits a huge 3 to keep this game alive for the Greyhounds. We'll come back at the end of regulation play in a moment. It's women's semifinal action on the MAAC Television Network. Welcome back. Loyola trying to rally here with time running down, getting a little bit of offense of late.
You know, I had just said on the other end, it's the best players who step up. And Hewitt is a senior, hasn't scored a bucket all day, but comes up with the monstrous 3 with just 16 seconds to play to bring her team within 4.
Again, full court pressure by Loyola. And they go long to Felicia Harris. It's a race. Harris and Slater. Harris to the basket, stripped by Slater. And it goes out of bounds off of St. Peter's. What a play by Slater for Loyola. 14.3 left, and they get the ball back. Great hustle.
That was an incredible play.
Loyola Slater doing a great job catching up to Harris, stripping the ball, not getting the foul, and getting it off of Harris out of bounds. Hewitt, a long-range 3 again. It's an air ball. Marchese has it for St. Peter's and is fouled with 1.8 seconds left. So time running down. You're down 4 points. They tried the long-range 3, and Corey Hewitt left it short. And it now does appear that St. Peter's will work itself into the championship game for a 9th time in MAAC history.
Well, this is a tough shot to try. I mean, the step back, she doesn't have the strength to step back and launch the NBA 3.
That was even further back than the 3 she hit a moment ago.
Right.
And that was a long-range 3. 1.8 seconds left. There's not a lot you can do when you're down 4. And Cindy Anderson trying to do as best as she can inside that Loyola huddle.
And everyone wants to try to, you know, you think the 3 is the best way to go, but you know you're down 4, so you need 2 possessions either way. So, hey, get in. They're expecting you to shoot the 3, so get the quick 2 and call a timeout.
And then you have a chance to set up your pressure, and you never know what will happen. Marchese hits the first free throw. St. Peter's, as much as we talked about their horrible shooting in the first half, 16%, 59% shooting from the field for St. Peter's in the second half. As Marchese buries the second free throw, and she had 12 all in the second half. Time runs down on this game. St. Peter's is headed to the MAAC women's title game for the 9th time. St. Peter's rallies after trailing pretty much the entire first half. They take over in the second half and hold off Loyola. The final is 54-47. Mike Grinelli, the MAAC Coach of the Year, will take his team to the title game on Sunday night against either Canisius or Siena. The second women's semifinal is coming up at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And you got to give great credit to St. Peter's, who played a horrible first half. Obviously, Loyola had something to do with it, but came on strong in the second half. We'll wrap this game up when we come back. Again, St. Peter's earns a slot in the MAAC women's title game with the win over Loyola.